What's up? What's up?
What's up, James? How's it going this morning?
Man, it's doing great for me, man. And, just another great day that we get to enjoy this real estate journey.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah. So once again, like we do these every Thursday where we're interviewing an agent that's crushing it in their industry in order to provide tremendous value to real estate agents. And I'm here now with Courtney. And Courtney, man, like, it's funny, dude, because like we kind of got connected on a mentorship deal.
Yes,
Like you're not directly with us, but you're still with us because you are with it. You within the family, but
yes,
like it's one of those things, man. When I first saw you and talked to you, I was like, man, this guy, he's serious about his business. He's going to do exactly what it is that somebody tells them to do in order for him to grow. And I mean, I've been seeing you just kind of blossom from there. Um, can you kind of go into the whole backstory? Because you haven't been an agent very long. How long has it been?
I just completed my first year this past February.
Awesome,
Yeah,
man.
so just a little over a year, I've been fully immersed in this real estate career.
Awesome, dude. All right, so
Yes.
so like, all right, so tell us, man, like backstory. What made you decide that you wanted to be a real estate agent? Like, how did you get to I want to be in this commission based business and kind of walk away from just a regular paycheck?
Yes. So I always have had this inkling to help people. And probably about 10 or 12 years ago, I was like, hey, I want to do real estate. It was something I thought about. But of course, if life happens, you just keep saying, oh, I'm going to go to real estate school, go to real estate school. It didn't happen. So, my background, I worked for my family moving company for the last 20 plus years. And I was getting tired of that job. As everyone is hearing this wave now of trying to find employees, we was experiencing that probably 6, 7, 8 years ago. We start seeing the writing on the wall. So it was one of those things. Got tired of managing people, and so I was like, Courtney, a couple of years ago, I said, hey, you always have this love for helping people. You've always had a love for medicine. So I was going to go back and go to school for nursing. Had already got my undergrad, master's degree, and all that stuff. So I was looking at Georgia, not Georgia State, but Mercer University and Emory accelerated nursing program. Signed up, was checking it out. They was like, "Oh, you'll be a great fit." And then I started saying, "Courtney, be smart about this. You're gonna have to go to school for another 2 years. You're not gonna be able to work. So what can you do?" And then this bell came back in my head, was like, "Hey, you always wanted to do real estate. Let's jump into real estate school." So jumped in school during the pandemic. Got licensed at the end of 2020. Was talking to one of my mentors, my great friend Dave Thorpe out in California, who I love dearly. I was looking at joining another company, and he was like, "Hey, have you heard about EXP?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't." Then he connected me to another great mentor and friend, John Mikish, and that's how I ended up joining EXP and launching my real estate career in February of 2021. And that's why I'm here today.
Wow, dude. So you were managing a moving company, and with family business, and
Yes.
was going back into nursing, and decided that hey, rather than doing another 2 years, I'm gonna go ahead and take this journey with real estate.
Yep, that's what I did. I thought about it. I said, you know what, Courtney, take this journey, get your license, make some money. You can always volunteer somewhere. If you love nursing that much, go and volunteer at a nursing home somewhere and help people out. So that's what I did. And that's how I ended up in the journey. Like I said, I launched my career in February and I left the company in April and went full time because I'm like, hey, I've been playing it safe. And I realized too, during this market, in order to succeed, I really need to be full time and jump full throttle into this career in order to make sure I'm good for my clients and good for myself.
So all right, so just kind of going back a little bit as far as what you're saying,
Mhm.
like getting because we're talking about getting connected with the right people and
Yes.
kind of pushing things forward from there. Like how did you really did you call this guy or did he call you or how did that whole thing happen?
It's crazy how life works. Um, his cousin was my neighbor. She was a little elderly lady. I live in a condo building. I had seen her around the building a couple of times. I can tell she needed some help with things and things of that nature. So I saw her coming in a few times. You know, I helped her with her groceries. I gave her my number. I'm like, hey, if you need some help with something, let me know. Well, one day I was getting ready to go to a meeting or work or something, and I just happened to be late that morning. And I was getting off the elevator, and I found my neighbor, Miss Peoples, on the floor. She was in a wheelchair, had fallen out the floor. So I ended up picking her up, talking to her. She was telling me she was going to dialysis and she drives herself. And I'm like, what? And so my heart just sank because she was like, I don't have any family here, don't have any kids. And I said, you know what? I'm late. I'm just follow you. You know, I started helping her out, taking her to dialysis and all that. And that's how I ended up getting connected with her cousin, Dave Peoples, who is now, like I said, a friend, a great friend and mentor to me. And he was just like, Courtney, you did a wonderful job with my cousin. And, you know, we stayed connected over the years. And once I told him I was doing real estate and got licensed, like I said, I hadn't heard of EXP. I was looking at going with Keller Williams. And he said, hey, I know some great people over at EXP. This company is great. You know, I'm not telling you to go with them, but just check them out and look at them. And I end up just doing a bunch of research, and I'm like, hey, it makes sense. You know, you need to think about the long-term future, not just my short-term goals. And he, you know, when I told him I was wanted to go with EXP, he said, well, I'll connect you. He didn't know anyone here in the Atlanta market. So he connected me with John Mikish out of Game Changers, who is in Montana.
Wow. So,
Mhm.
all right, so you get your license, you get connected with all these folks. Like how what made you decide that, hey, that I was the right mentor for you at that particular time?
So once again, it's funny how life works too, because before I met you, I ended up talking to Morris.
Oh
Why?
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I met Morris because we have a mutual friend. One of my good friends from college, she's a realtor as well. And I was telling her I wanted to go with EXP, and she connected me with Morris. Morris was like, no, I'm not a mentor, but you know, I can help you out with things and all of that. So what ended up happening, EXP, you know, of course, pair us with mentors. And I end up talking to you. I talked to a couple of people, ended up talking with you. I like what you were telling me. And you was like, hey, I can help you grow your business. And that's how I ended up choosing you as my mentor. And you assisted me along with your assistant and helped me to get those first couple of deals that I have successfully.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I said, like I'm always when I'm talking to somebody, I'm trying to decide if this person is a doer or not. Like that's the whole thing because it's so many agents that people not just agents but people period that they're just not doers. They might
Yeah.
listen and make excuses for certain things or get tied up in whatever. But right off the rip, when we communicated and we kind of hit it off, it's like, all right, man, this guy he's a doer, he's a go getter, he's gonna go and I'm not wasting my time because that's really what I'm really saying, right? Because with anybody, like you can get money back, you can get all this other stuff, but you can't get time back. Time,
You
is
cannot.
one of those things. No matter what you do, like if you spend 30 minutes with somebody, you'll never get that 30 minutes back ever again.
Mhm.
So like you want to make sure that that whole thing is useful. So I was talking to Jay, and like Jay was actually saying, Jay Kinder, he was actually saying that what he likes to do is to give somebody some stuff, like give them that the time, give them some things that they need to work on, and
Mhm.
what he's looking to do is see if they take that and run with it.
Mhm.
So when you go back to him, you're at a different place than where you were when you first talked to him. And he said he doesn't really like dealing with, people that are at the same place, having the same problems, the same situation. That they're not growth minded. And that
Right.
was a big thing that when we first started talking and kicked off with you.
Yes, most definitely. And it's the same way with clients too. You know, I think it's about being able to just read people and have those conversations because you have some clients, you know, who just going to get the job done. They work on their credit, whatever they needs to get happen, for them to get into a home. And then you have some clients, it's like you try to push them, you try to help them, and they just don't. And what we realize in this business, as you say, we can't get our time back. And time is money. So you definitely want to make sure you're connected with the right people, invested with the right people, the same way with your clients. You don't want to throw anyone to the side, but I think you just categorize and prioritize where people fit within your calendar.
Yeah. So, all right. So what are some of the main things? Because I mean, we're just gonna kind of get down to the nitty gritty with it, right?
Okay.
So brand new agent, zero experience, zero sales, get connected with mentors. But what were some of the things that you did early on that kind of get you going? Because I mean, you had a pretty good year, So
Yes. Well, I always carry this in life too. How you treat people goes a long way. And I always have remembered from my mother, my father always saying, we never know who we're going to need in life. So I think that is what really has helped me in my career, because all of my deals have come from word of mouth, my sphere influence, referrals. Like I really have not did like lead generation. I hate to say that, in regards to like the first year, but everything just came from word of mouth, how I treated people, having integrity, people being trustworthy, things of that. So when I made my announcement and went live, had my photos and put my post up, all of my friends on Facebook and Instagram started sharing it for me. And people was like, hey, I want you to be my realtor once I started looking for a home. And I end up just reaching out to friends and family, and that's how I just got on the roll. And I think too, a lot of times what kind of hurts us, and I'm still dealing with this too, I think is that fear of rejection. So it was just like, hey, just if this is what you want to do, Courtney, you got to reach out to people in order to be successful. Everyone not just going to reach out to you. Like you got to take the leg work, do what you need to do to move forward if you want to be successful and grow in this business. So I took those steps of reaching out, just having those relationships with family, friends, classmates, college classmates, and they have all referred me to family and friends, and that's what really helped my business. So I would encourage anyone to just make sure you're treating people right along the way. Whatever business you in, even one of my previous clients I had last year was a client from the moving company from one of my government contracts. And he said, I love the way you did business there. And he was like, even though you're a new agent in this business, I'm going to allow you to sell my home, and I'm going to allow you to help me find a new home. So it's those relationships that really has helped and fostered my career.
Man, the relationships definitely matter. I mean, just the fact that the whole situation you were saying about your neighbor and how you was able to help them and then stay in touch with the other guy. You definitely are a connector in that aspect of it. But, you also are lead generating. Like, whether you know it or not, you're actually doing it. So, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're posting things on your social media, letting people know what you're doing and then reaching out to them, that is lead generation in and of itself.
Yes.
So, what a lot of people do is, they might get into this industry and they're kind of nervous and they don't want to put it, their business out there. I know some folks that what they do is like, I'm gonna create a business page and then a personal page, and I'm gonna separate those two. They're like, no, no. People want to know who they're doing business with. They want to know like who it is, who Courtney is, who James is,
Mhm.
and that's the person on your regular Facebook, and that's the same person that you're going to be putting your business stuff on as well. They
Yes.
want to feel that connection, and that's really what you're saying. So that is lead generation.
It is. You're right. Definitely right.
Yeah. And then like the whole thing what you're saying about like, you started realizing you had to reach out to them and not just depend on them actually reaching out to you. And fear the rejection part of it. I mean, I can't tell you how many no's I've gotten over the years of working with clients. So I mean, I'm almost used to it now. Like I almost bring on the no's because I know like if you do your numbers and you track everything the correct way, it's a certain amount of no's that is going to lead to yeses.
Yeah,
So my whole thing is to get all the no's out the way so I can get out to my yeses.
exactly. And then it's the experience too. We learn from our experience, we learn from those failures. So I think after we keep getting so many no's or so many failures, we're learning from that. Then we learn the approach to be able to get the yes we need. So all of it go hands in hand. The good and the bad, I think, is a learning experience for us to help us. I'm sure it helped you to get to 1,000 agents in your organization. You know,
Yep. Yep.
yeah,
I mean, you gotta, what the old saying, you gotta kiss a lot of frogs to get to the prince.
yes, most definitely.
So all right, man. So like, all right. So you're working with clients. You've been putting your stuff on social media. People have been reaching out to you. You've been reaching out to people as well. Like, what's the plan going forward? I mean, are you gonna do some additional marketing? Or are you gonna continue just to double down on what you're currently doing? Like what does the next 12 months look like for Courtney?
So definitely additional marketing, growing the producing side of my business, but also now that I have this first year under my belt, looking at the agent attraction as well.
Mhm.
I just met with my mentor, Dave Thorpe, out of California. He was here in Georgia this week. So we had lunch the other day, and he reminded me again, he broke it down because of this agent attraction thing, like just being fearful and being afraid of getting rejected. He was like, Courtney, just do it. Just do it. So over the next 12 months is definitely growing my business, but also attracting and bringing in agents who I can help along the way also with the agent attraction with EXP.
Yeah. Yeah, man, like that thing it's so powerful, man. To be honest with you, and like you said before, I mean, I couldn't have said it better. I mean, it really comes from a place of help. If I liken it to a restaurant, right? If
Mm-hmm.
if I go to a good restaurant and I love the food at that restaurant, I love the service, I love the ambiance, the environment, everything. I'm going to recommend people to that restaurant. Why? Because I believe in it, right?
Yes.
I believe in that restaurant. I believe that when you go there, your experience is going to be just as good as my experience was. And
Mm-hmm.
really, that's all you're doing with agents. I mean, it's a little bit more, obviously just in the restaurant and a good meal or whatever, obviously. But it's really about growing a business. Like you got connected with, a few people, right? You got connected with the guy in California. He
Yes.
connected with somebody over here on the East Coast. You got connected with me, and from all that connection, helped you to actually propel your real estate business where you didn't know anything initially, to actually closing deals, making things happen. Production wise, it's just amazing how that whole thing transforms. What suggestion would you have for an agent that's just starting out in this industry? That they should do in order to get to the point where they're actually having sales.
My suggestion for a new agent, because I came in a new agent, independent agent, if you're starting out, I would highly suggest joining a team. I would suggest that for someone just joining a team so they can learn the ropes, they can learn the systems. You're right there working with someone that can help you. So you're not kind of doing this trial and error. You're still going to have problems, I'm pretty sure. But that would be my recommendation coming into for a new agent who's just not probably a go getter or starter to join a team. So a team can kind of help you. But if you're a go-getter and starter, just jump out there and do it. But the other thing too, I would always advise anyone coming in, just make sure your mindset is there. I think a lot of people come into this industry looking as the broker is your employer and you the employee. And you have to realize like we are our own business. So I see a lot of agents who just sitting on the side or maybe not producing and stuff because they're waiting for these handouts or they're waiting for the broker, they're waiting for their team leader to be like, hey, this is what you need to do. And I think, you guys can only do so much and then we have to take the next steps. So my advice is just be realistic with yourself, understand and know and call yourself out on the things that you're not doing to produce. It's the same way in the gym. We always like, hey, we want this quick fix. I'm not losing weight because I'm not eating right. I'm not working out. So you're not producing because you're not taking the necessary steps to get where you need to be. So I would just tell a new agent, connect with the right people, mentors. One of the things that I've had to learn too is, Courtney, you can't do it all alone, because I'm so used to always just figuring it out. And I realize you need mentors, you need support systems in this real estate world, and just go forth.
Yeah, man. I was talking to somebody else, and they actually mentioned that same thing for new agents. Like the best thing to do is actually to join a team for a number of reasons. Like one, they already have that structure in place,
Yep.
so that structure is going to help you to get the real estate rhythm, right? Because like everybody needs that rhythm. Like even if you're a part-time agent or if you burn the boats and you just jump full-time into it, you really don't have that consistent rhythm on how to deal with real estate. Then plus the team normally, they have the structure for the leads and stuff like that, so that helps out a whole lot. But I think you hit it on the nail as far as like I think most people or most agents, they're in real estate but they don't have a real estate business, right? Like
Right.
you're not you're not an employee of the brokerage. Like you're running your own business. Once you start to make that mental shift and seeing it that way, you'll start operating differently.
Mhm.
Um, man, I, I was at a brokerage before, and just kind of tell a little funny story. It was a woman there, and she came in, and the actual owner of the brokerage was coming into the office, and she started running around like, "Hey y'all, daddy's coming, daddy's coming, daddy's coming." And I'm like, huh? Daddy. Like, this ain't no pimp house.
Right.
But no, but it's a mindset, right? Like
It
if you
is.
if you think that way, you're gonna respond that way. But if you think like an owner, you're gonna respond like an owner. And once you get connected and you start running your business the proper way, you'll never have lack of business in your
Right.
entire life.
And the other thing I would definitely recommend too is, don't just let money be the front thing that you think about. You want to lead with love, lead with compassion when you're dealing with your clients. And I've had clients to come to me was like, oh, I dealt with another agent. All they was talking about is commission, commission, commission. They was just too focused on the money, and they're not spending time and just listening to their clients' needs and want, because they're too busy trying to worry about, can I get this commission? Can I pay my bill? So the other thing I would tell a new agent too coming in, make sure you have some money saved to help you, because it's just not going to come like this. And the deal, you might get the deal and be like, oh, we're finna close in 21, 30 days. And the 29th day, the deal fall apart. So just make sure you're flexible when it comes to things falling apart, and also just having the capital to help you carry on so you get those deals and get that money coming in for you.
Man, that's a good point, man. So I'm gonna ask you that question back to you. Like, how
Mhm.
did you deal with that? Because, like, I mean, you know how it is. You're a new agent, you haven't closed a
Mhm.
whole lot of deals, or maybe you haven't closed a deal at all, and now
Mhm.
you got somebody that you're in front of, and what we call in the industry is commission breath, right?
Yeah.
Like you can feel it. Like regardless if you try to hide it or not, you can feel it. It's like it's all over you. Like, what
Mhm.
are some of the things that you did to kind of like, I know you say you put up something, but like sometimes it's like a mental shift. Like, how are you able to make that mental shift in that area?
So what everything, like I said, in life prepares you for different parts in your life. So what really helped too is running the moving company. It kind of goes hand in hand with real estate in terms of, I always knew we would have clients scheduled to be on our schedule to move, but then they would call and say, "Hey, my closing got pushed back. My closing got pushed back, or the closing fell through. We can't, close." So I already knew problems would come, so I was already prepared for that. And then two, it's like, hey, I've experienced also running the company and getting these contracts for the last 20 years. we will win a government contract for 3.5 million, and they'll be like, hey, you're going to start next month, and next month turn into 2 years later.
Wow.
So I've experienced that, and that really helped me to be like, hey, Courtney, problem's going to come. You got to be prepared. You got to be able to roll with it. And once again, I learned too, not to just always focus on the money, focus on the sale, because people do business with people they like. Just make sure you're likable. Make sure you're relatable. Don't try to force someone to making this big decision just because you need this commission that they're going to have to live with the next 10, 20, 30 years. So be open, be flexible, and just make sure you're always good. You're good in the sense that you're cutting back on things, you cutting your expenses, things of that nature, so it can hold you over till you finally get those sales in place.
Yeah. So what are you doing like referral wise? I mean, are you doing something specific with your clients to get referral business, or is it just coming just naturally?
It's coming naturally. Trying to make sure I foster those and keep those relationships too. That's another thing, just I think being a big part of, and I think your clients kind of become your family, so it's like those clients have become family. One of my clients just referred me her niece. She said her niece was working with another agent, and she kept telling her niece, you need to call Courtney, you need to call Courtney. And finally we connected, and she's working with me now. But it's just connecting with them, letting them know like, hey, I'm here. If you know anyone looking to buy or sell, definitely send them my way. Stand in connection with them when it's their birthdays, or like when I just had clients who just recently celebrated their 1 year mortgage anniversary, reaching out to them, sending them like a card, a token, and things like that, just to make sure I stay at the front of their mind, because there's a lot of agents here in the Metro Atlanta area. So you just want to make sure you're doing some things that kind of keep you, there with those relationships. Even with other agents, I've established relationships where they're like, hey, Courtney, this is a client that's probably down your way. I know you're a good agent. I enjoyed doing a deal with you, so-and-so. I'm going to refer them to you. So even those relationships with other agents has played a major part as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I can tell, like, even from your conversation with it. I mean, you're real genuine with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people feel that you really do care, because you really do care, right? I mean, it's hard to fake this thing, right?
It is. It's really hard to.
Yeah.
Yes. And
So
that's what you should lead with care. Lead with care, lead with love. And like I said, not just always the money. The money is going to come once we do the things that we love, and it shows. So it's just, lead with compassion.
yeah. So my two takeaways is one, from what you said, one, get connected, right? Like,
Yes.
I think that was a big deal. Getting connected with the right group, the right place, the right
Mhm.
systems, the right processes, right? And then
Yes.
the second part of it is like love your clients, love
Yeah.
your people. Like if you love your people, they love you back. I was reading a book. It talked about that. Like love your client. Like literally, go above and beyond, fall in love with your customer. And, in that whole process, you'll never have to worry about money again.
Right. And another thing I will say, just going back, piggyback on what you were saying about just making sure I was the right fit for you as a mentee as well. I tell people with your clients, kind of vet your clients, because everybody's not going to be a great fit for you. And if you're working with a bad client, you're trying to get to the end of this deal, is too much tension and headache. It's not worth it. So it's one of those things too, just being genuinely who you are, meeting people where they are, and dealing with them accordingly to make sure it's a right fit for you. And I think that allows for these smooth transactions to take place and a genuine connection to take place as well.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. Like, nobody's going to close every single deal in Metro Atlanta or whatever city that you're in, right? I mean, it's just not going to happen. So, like, really what you're doing is you're just looking for your people,
Exactly.
and it's enough of your people to make a ton of money in any industry, in any area. So like that's why I say like you did early on by posting stuff on Facebook and reaching out to folks like that was you. You was finding your tribe, your folks, people that was attracted to Courtney and wanted to do business with Courtney. And there's enough of those people to go around where Courtney never have to worry about money no more, as long as he keeps loving on his tribe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
But man, look, dude, I appreciate the conversation, man. I mean, I love watching the growth. I love watching what you're doing in and of itself. I appreciate you kind of giving back and telling everybody, your story in and of itself. Um, Once again, we do these every Thursday where we're interviewing an agent that's doing well, basically to add value to the real estate industry. If you want to know more about how you can kind of partner with me or us or whatever, you can definitely go to my website, jump on my calendar, and just kind of talk a little bit more about that aspect of it. Or if you just got some real estate questions that you want to know about how we do lead generation, how we create systems, how we create processes, just reach out to me directly with that, man. But Courtney, once again, dude, keep crushing it out there, man. I've been watching you, and I'm
I
happy.
appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you, the group, Honey Badgers, all y'all over there. Y'all just took me in like I was family too, being down here in Atlanta. So I appreciate everything you guys are doing also. And you keep crushing it and inspire me. So hopefully next year, the year after, I can get those 1,000 agents under my team as well.
Come on, brother. You on the right track. You'll do it.
Thank you.
All right.